Hi guys. Last year my dredge started losing suction. I happened to notice that if I look at the hose, the suction hose, there were some bubbles going up the hose. So I thought, okay, well maybe it was the hose that was the problem. So I got a new hose. That ended up not being the problem. So the next thing I started looking at was, I thought, was the impeller. I mean, there's not much to the pump for these things, so I decided that I would order an impeller. An impeller, I guess I should say, not impaler, impeller. So I did. I ordered it from Armadillo Mining, which is out of Oregon, and the salesperson there said, gave me a call and said, hey, you know, I don't know which impeller you need, so I am going to send this order over to Keene. So right off the bat, a good thing to say about Armadillo Mining is that the customer service, and customer service is a big deal. So she sent that order over, and probably within a day or so, I get a call from Mark Keene, and he started working with me. He started asking me, to try a few different things. He's asking me like if my motor was revving up to its proper RPMs. He also had me to adjust the intake adapter on the pump, which is the little plastic thing for us that have 4-inch dredges. And so to push that in a little further. And so we went around and done a couple things, and everything seemed to kind of check out. I did the test. So I'm back at the impeller. And so that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about me really replacing my impeller. But during that process, I'll probably replace my belt, which has a nick in it. Probably would last another year or two, but I'm just going to go ahead and pull it. And also I'm going to replace my pump seals, because normally when I pull my pump apart, that's my furnace, hope there's not too much noise, then I replace those seals. So that's what this video is going to be about. Okay, let's get started. First thing you want to do is pull off your spark plug cap, which I've already done. Then you want to, on the other side, well, let me tell you about some of the tools you're going to need first. First off, you're going to need a 1/2-inch box wrench, a 1/4-inch Allen wrench. You need a 10mm socket. I don't know where mine went to. It's up here someplace. I'll find it in a little bit. I use a couple of pry bars, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with those in just a second. Strap wrench for some of you who don't want to use the pry bar. I'll show you the process. And since I'm going to replace my pump seal, which is I got from Cresson Gold Mine, a strap wrench, and I'm going to replace my belt along with the impeller. So first off, you use your 10mm, which I don't know where I put the stupid thing. I just had it. But you would put that on your pull cord. You have 3 of those, so you would take this off. Now if you look at some of the other YouTube videos, they want you to either wire it down, wire this down. But what I do is I normally take one of my pry bars and just put it in there, and that gives me a handle to hold on to when I'm ready for that. The next thing you're going to do is take off these bolts. There are 4 of them, 2 up top and 2 on the bottom. And use the 1/2-inch box wrench on those. Okay, so here's where I would hold on to the other side of this and unscrew this, the impeller. So that's basically what I do. Everything's pretty loosened up until this point. So this is the one part of the pump seal, and this is the other part of the pump seal here. So I'm going to remove this plate using the 1/4-inch Allen wrench, and then I'll have this apart. Then what I'll have to do is I'll have to loosen my air pump to get my belt off, and then I'll go ahead and install the belt, and then I'll go ahead and install the pump seals. So from there I will pretty much be done. I'll put a little Loctite on my bolts here. I mean, not Loctite, anti-seize compound on my bolts. I took this off once before, and they were so rusted in, even using penetrating oil, I couldn't get them out. I had to drill out this hole. These two came out. I had to drill out this hole, and then go ahead and put some penetrating oil on the bolt and use some vice grips to screw it out the other. And then so I was able to find these bolts. I can find these bolts at I found them at Sullivan's Hardware. So I couldn't find them at the big box stores. I could go to the local hardware store and find them. Now when you pull it off, this is what it is. This is half of your pump seal here. The other half is on here. So eventually I'm going to pull these bolts out. There's 3 of them to be able to get to the pump seal on the back. So this is what we're looking at. That's the second half of the seal. I'm going to remove the back plate. I had to put some penetrating oil on this one. It was hard to come out, but I've got the screws loosened, so I'll just pull them out. Probably put a little bit more anti-seize on these bolts so it won't be so hard next time. And you just slide it off. This is I'm trying to find a place to put it. This inner portion is the other part of the seal. So we're going to take that out once I think I'm going to do the belt first. Like I said, I got a nick in the belt, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it. This is the pulley, and really it's got an Allen keyway in there that or Allen screw, I guess I should say, that I'll unloosen and pull this out. But I'm going to have to unloosen my compressor first. Once I loosen it, I can slide it back, and then the belt will come off, and then I'll replace the belt. And once I replace the belt, then I'll go ahead and show you how removing the pump seals and placing those back in. I've loosened the 4 screws on the bottom of the compressor, and then I push the compressor back towards the motor, and it's loosened the belt. If you can see, the belt's loosened now. And so then basically I just pull it off, and that's it. I'm going to replace it because it's nicked right there. It's got a pretty good nick in it, and I'm going to have to replace it anyway, probably in the next year. So I'll just do it now, and it's done. So that's what I've gotten that one. This will be my replacement belt. It's a little shorter than that one, so it should probably be fun trying to get on. But just kind of pull it. I need to take the number off of that belt, but just kind of get it on here and kind of spin it. Kind of hard doing this with one hand, but just turn it and should go on like that, and it's on. So it's pretty good tension. If you look at it, it's a little crooked, so I'll have to tighten the motor up to pull it out this way and get it lined up right. It's a little crooked, but once I do that, then I just tighten the bolts once I get it straight, which I'll probably just use a pry bar or something and pull it out. And once I get it straight, then I'll go into replacing the seals, and that'll be, I'll be almost done. Okay, I got my belt on. It's a little smaller, which is what I wanted. I think my other one was actually too loose, or too big. So it's my pulley's just a little off center. It's not straight, but I'm gonna run it a few times, and then it just stretch this belt out enough so where I can go ahead and line this pulley up to be exactly straight. But right now, what I'm gonna do is we're going to change the pump seal. So this is the old impeller, and this is the new one that I'm going to be replacing it with. The way to start this, I guess, is to just get your screwdriver, and since it's the old seal, just get it down in here and pry it up, and it comes out. So that's one half of the seal right there. And I'm looking at it now. There's a nice little groove worn in there, so it's been working the way it's supposed to work. So this is the back plate for the pump, and this is the actual inner seal that you need to get to. The trick to this, though, is that I had to learn it from the last time I did it, is to flip it over, and you have to tap this center portion out right here. Now you can do it one or two ways. What I'm going to do is get a couple of blocks, just get a couple pieces of wood. I'm going to turn it over, make sure I'm clear here. And then really the only thing you really need to do is, I think you can just take a hammer and tap it out. They give you this little thing. I think that's too big though. So what I'm going to do then is just get my hammer wherever I put it. It really helps if you have a nice clean workbench, which mine isn't. I have a hammer here somewhere, and you just tap it out. Just take it in. I think I'll spare you guys the noise. So I got it out. You just, like I said, just get your couple of blocks, hammer it from the back, and it comes out just like that. And now I'm going to take some sandpaper probably and just lightly clean this out, because there's some silicone. They say that Keene's instruction is to put a little silicone around the rim of your bottom seal, your back plate seal, and then put it in, and that helps keep it sealed up so you don't have any leaks. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to clean this out, probably with some sandpaper, just lightly sand it out, and then I'm going to reinstall the new pump seals. Okay, so now I'm going to replace this pump seal. The kit comes with the upper seal, which goes into the impeller, which is this guy, the one with the white, and then the lower seal that goes into the back plate. And then it comes with a O-ring. You can see this one costs $32. So it comes with an O-ring, which goes into the rim of the back plate. There's a slot there that it goes into. I'm going to replace that. Then it comes with a tool that you use to put your back plate in. So you put your back plate seal in. You put that in, and you would put your tool over, and you would tap this to seat that. So that's what it should come with. Sometimes they only, if you can get one that's a little cheaper, it only comes with just the seals, and it comes with it doesn't come with a O-ring and a tool. So you can just get just the seals, and that's a little cheaper if you don't need it, or if you don't need the tool, or replace the O-rings. You don't always have to replace the O-rings. This will be the first time I've replaced it. So what I'm going to do now is start working on the seals. We're putting in seals. This one is pretty easy. You don't have to do much to it. You just basically take your impeller, take this out, and you want to have a rag. You want to have a rag because you want to make sure you don't get any grease or anything on the top of this seal. So normally you just take a rag, put it over, then you just kind of push it in. Make sure it's seated good. You can just kind of clean it off. And that one's in. That's the easy one. The one for the back plate is pretty easy also. Like I said, I'm going to take and put a little silicone, I think. As you can see, this is an old tube. Should just be able to break that off. And screw that on. So come here and and then just gonna put a small, probably just a little small. If I can get it out of here, that is. There it goes. Then I'm just going to take that and kind of smear it around. Then, like I said, I'm just going to so, once again, I'm not trying to touch the face of this, although I don't think you can do much with that. But then you just put this in here. Put the cap here. Cap's on, okay. So then you take that. I have another one here. Just put that over the seal. Then you just take a hammer and tap it down. Kind of just go around it and that's pretty noisy. So I think I'm going to spare you guys this. and I'll get you back when I got it in. I have that in. Looks like I got it seated pretty good. I may have to tap that side a little bit more. It's not quite. Yeah, I may have to tap that side a little bit more. Okay, that's better. So I got it seated in there pretty good. And so now my seals is in. So now the only thing I've got to do now is to put everything back together. And you basically just do that in reverse order. So I'm going to use some anti-seize on my bolts. What I've noticed is the bottom bolt, it goes on this way. Usually the bottom bolt, no, I got that wrong. It goes on this way. This way. So this bolt here, because the pump sometimes hold water, if you don't drain the water out when you finish, that one gets a little stuck in. So what you want to do is, I just use anti-seize on all my threads. It makes it a little easier to come out. So what I'm going to do is get my bolts out. I'll keep my bolts in a little case here so that I won't lose them. Drives me crazy if I can't find them. So we'll take these guys. I'm just going to open it up. And just going to squeeze a little bit out here. Once again, I'm just going to kind of rub it onto the threads. Got some on there, but I'm just going to okay, so just kind of spread that on there. Take off a little bit of that excess. I don't need a whole lot. Okay, and one more. So now we got those. Got that on there. Of course, I don't have a rag, a paper towel. That would be work, but I'll worry about that a little later here. So basically, your bolts go on. Put your back plate on. The opening side, if you look at this, look at your back plate. You have an opening, which is where your belt should go, and then your other 3 bolts should go in. So just set it like that. Take your bolts, and I'll hand thread them for a little bit here, kind of get them in. Of course, I probably don't have my tools out. So kind of get them started there. Okay, then I'll just use my Allen wrench. We'll go ahead and snug those up. Yep, now I got them snug, I'll just kind of give them a little bit of tightening. Won't crank them. Got them pretty tight there. Because you have to be careful. You can strip these things out. So got those tight. Got the anti-seize stuff on, so I don't have to worry about that. These are the old seals. I can put them away. So now I'm just going to put the impeller on. So they're hand tight. I am going to now get my little pry bar, which is what I use to hold on to it. You can wire the thing or do some other things, but I just normally I just wire it, just use that and hold on to it, which works out just as well. So I'm going to use a strap wrench, and I'm going to hold on, and then I'm just going to tighten it, I think, maybe, if I can get it to work. Okay, so my strap wrench is not working the greatest. So what I'm going to do now is to have another thing here, have another pry bar, which I'm going to take a rag and just kind of wrap it around it. See if I can get it right here. Swap them out. I'm going to use the smaller one on that and use the big one over here. Okay, so right now I'm just tightening, because remember I just put the seals in, so really so got it tight. I'm hoping I have it tight enough. Really should only be about hand tight, but since there's still some turning, I can still turn it with my hand, so I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more. Really what I should do is put some tape on this pry bar, and that way he wouldn't slide out of here so easily. Still can turn it with my hand, so obviously I'm not tight enough. Okay, so I got it tight enough to where I can't turn it, got it hand tight at least, that I can't turn it with my hand anymore. It's probably a little tighter than that, but that's okay. So basically, the only other thing I got to do is to put the front of the pump back together. So I'm going to put the O-ring on here. We'll see if we can get it to stay while we do this. That's usually the hard part, is to get the O-ring to stay in there, because it's a little bigger to start with. So to get it in here and to stay, it's always fun. What I used to do is kind of prop it up. Just kind of prop it up, throw something in there to kind of prop it up. And it's going to be fun. It always is. The one I pulled out, of course, fit because it had shrank. As a matter of fact, I may just end up putting it back in. There's nothing wrong with it, not really. See, it shrank to the right size. So that's the old one. I'm going to try and put the new one. I want to put the new one in. So what I'm probably going to have to do is put the bottom in, get it on, and then put the kind of stuff the top in to kind of make it fit in there. So get my rest of my screws here. I need to get all my stuff together. Okay, so we'll get those. I don't use any C's on those. But you just can't over tighten them, because just like anything, you'll strip them out, and then you either have to retap them or get a new pump. So basically, what you do with that. Now what I'm going to do, since I have this out, is I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Take a little bit of sandpaper. Just lightly sand it. Okay. And then take this guy. So once I do that, just get the screws back in. I'm not talking to you. So I place the screws here. Then I'll just tighten them down. I'll let this down so I can see that O-ring. I don't know if I'm liking that or not. We'll see. I may not be able to get that to work right. I do my screwdriver. There it is. I don't know. I may put my old one back in. I don't know that I'm getting that thing seated in there. Looks like it might be, but I don't know. Without being able to see it, it's hard to tell. Of course, I know once I got it to run because it leaked all over the place. One. Let's try this guy. That's the right one. Now I just pulled it out. Okay, now let's see if I can get this thing in here without messing it up again. I'm sure gonna be upset if I get this in here and I can't, and it's not sealed. That means I gotta pull it all off, and that'll be a field fix, and I don't like doing field fixes if I don't have to. God, that side doesn't look like it's in. Okay, so I'll get this back together and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, now that I got it together, what I've noticed is I've tightened my impeller, but I have some space in between my adapter and my impeller inside, which can cause you to lose pressure. So what I've done is, I've done this earlier, is on the adapter here, there's a plastic ring that stops this from going in. I've chipped that off with the claw of my hammer, and now I can just tap this in to get it close to seal that space in between the impeller and the adapter. So I want to close that up. I want to close that gap. I may have to take this off if I get it too tight, but you want to get it close. Then you want to be able to put your pull rope on and pull. It should just be a little slight resistance to it, so that means you're about as tight as you can be when you get that done. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to just use a block of wood and pound on it to get that to work. Technically, I probably should pull this off the motor to do it. Okay, I got it back together. I think I have it too tight. I may have to pull this off again and just kind of tap it out a little bit. Oh, I don't know, it's turning. make sure the spark plug is off, which is, I know it's off. I pulled it off. Okay, so that looks like, that'll work. So I don't have to take it off. So basically, I'm done. I've changed the pump seal, closed up my gap. The only thing that's got me a little worried is this gasket up here. So when I go to the field, I'll take the old one with me. And if I need to, then I'll just pull it off, put the old one back on, and I'll be ready to go. It's a real minimal fix for the field. So there you have it. I've basically, that's how you change your belt, replace the pump seals, and assemble and disassemble and assemble everything back together. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably just leave the spark plug cap off until I go out to the creek, which who knows when that'll be, since it snowed today. So hopefully here in the next month or so, I can just kind of get out there and do a quick test and see if things work. Hopefully that solves my suction problem, and I should be ready to go for the season. So thanks for being patient with me, and thanks for watching this video. I hope it helps some people out. And if you have any questions, of course, just go ahead and you can reply to me on YouTube, or if you want, you can look for me on Facebook, which is Thomas Folks, which is last name is Fowlkes. I'm also the state director for the GPA of Indiana, so you can find me through GPA. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.